special commissioners meeting to order. It's February 2025. Let's all rise for the invocation. Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for all your blessings, Lord. We ask that you watch over us and give us strength and wisdom as we go about this celebration of the citizens of Brewster County. We ask for rain, lots and lots of rain, Lord. We ask for to help us to wet this dry land of ours. Lord, we thank you for all that you provide. In Jesus' name. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state under God, one indivisible. All right, good morning, all. Great to be student for Lincoln, South County. Love it. Great. Thanks for everyone coming. All right, let's do number 4. Review, discuss, and take action to approve the previous minutes for January 28th.
Move to approve the minutes of January 28th.
All right, motion and second. Approve the minutes January 28th. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Review, discuss, and take action for the Commissioners Court meeting of February 4th. Minutes of February 4th.
I'm going to accept the minutes of the Commissioners Court meeting of February 4th as presented.
Second. Motion and a second. Any discussion? None. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. 5 public comments. So we have 2 today, and let's start with Paul. Kicking us off, please.
Sure. My name is Paul Glaves. I live here in South Brewster County, up the highway a little ways. My wife and I moved here almost 20 years ago, and I've seen effort after effort to get community health care and a clinic in South Brewster County. And somehow, every time it happens or almost happens, it stumbles and fumbles. So I'm here simply to say, I strongly support your approval of items 8A and B on your agenda.
Thank you, sir. All right, Reed.
I'm Reagan Reed. So I'm here speaking on behalf of the hospital district. So I'm the representative for Chilingo on the hospital district. And so first, thanks for the consideration. I think we've got a great execution of taxing entities working together on projects that's really going to benefit their communities. So pretty happy for that. This seems to be rare these days. I got a chance to visit the campus of the Texas Medical Center Innovation Factory. Got invited to that with the hospital district, and the first thing that stuck out to me is we're a pretty small community, pretty small fish, and when it comes to the funding that these folks are dealing with, probably a drop in the bucket. So the Texas Medical Center Innovation Factory has 300 plus startups, $50 million in Texas Medical Center funding, and $5.8 billion in funding throughout the projects that they've worked on since 2015. I didn't know what to expect, but y'all, these folks gave us 5 hours of their time. And not only did we meet the Hamilton Health Clinic folks, but we met innovators, startups. They took us on a tour of the whole campus. To get on this Texas Medical Center Innovation Factory, it's all rent-free. It's an application process, it's an invitation process. But I asked the Hamilton Health folks, I said, how would y'all get the opportunity to get here? And Dr. Hamilton says, we want to solve rural healthcare. So I was at the TPENS meeting last night, and I hate to say this, but our little community just kind of stumbled onto an opportunity that I think communities would bend over backwards for. I'm so excited echo what Paul has to say. I'm really glad for the Commissioners Court support, but if we can make this happen for 3 years, we're gonna have a commitment to an organization that's gonna have resources, innovation, and partnership that's on the pinnacle of healthcare in the state, the country, and in the world. And we'll have access to that information. So really excited about it. And thanks for being a part of it for the hospital district and working with us on this, Commissioners. Thank you.
Being no further public comments, so we'll go to recognitions and announcements number 6. Anything from the court?
Yes, sir. On February 22nd, it'll be our, I think it's the 18th time that I've done that fish fry marathon. And we've subsidized the county money that the county didn't have to pay to support that building. I don't know, I think we've grossed $260,000 for that building. And we took it from just a shell to what it is now, and it's a stand-up nice building. So we all get a chance to come out and support. It's a donation at the door and you get to eat fish and dance. And then I do a live auction and get good support from a lot of the local people. The sheriff been supporting, been behind me from day one. I've been in his ear and in his pocketbook from the very first one. It started off doing sweet auctions, and then it was kind of pretty cool because the ladies, what I call the pillars of marathon, after the week was that the auction was done, they would say, well, mine brought more money than yours, and it was kind of, they competed against themselves for the first few years. And it was pretty cool to get $3,000 for a pie or radiant and stuff. Anyway, but I'm thankful for the support. We've got a lot to show for it, and got it coming up on the 22nd, and start serving at 6 o'clock. If y'all find it to come up, have some good fish. And it's all volunteer work. Everybody pitches in, and have a great group of cooks, and then the kids help serve. It's well taken care of by town people. So if y'all get a chance, come on. So the 22nd.
Good. It's a good event. I always enjoy the fish fry and enjoy the money flying out of my wallet. Always has some good stuff.
No, we do.
I would challenge. I would actually suggest challenge. They formed a Friends of the Marathon Community Center some many years ago, and I would love to see something like that here in the studio. I think a cool thing. So I just want to kick around some ideas after the meeting. I thought we'll still root his idea and see if we can do something. Yeah. Okay. Any other announcements this morning? Thoughts? There anything?
Well, one thing that I was thinking about is, Reagan, correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I believe our robotics team advanced to regionals.
Yeah, so the Trilingual Photobots won the El Paso FTC Robotics League. So pretty big deal, 5A, 6A schools for us finally. It's been 7 years working at it, but big honors. Yeah, looking at and looking at the regionals.
When did they head to Lubbock?
Ooh,
I'm sorry, I didn't put you on the spot.
Maybe it's the first week in March. Don't confirm. Not 100%.
I'm really proud of them. They're a tiny school, kids work together so well. I mean, watching them at their first competition at Van was great to see all the kids collaborate and strategize and then change their strategy in the middle to try to adapt.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're doing great. I'm really proud of them.
Yeah.
This is the one that came out of the ashes from the fire. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's, they're 3 years from this year.
All right, anything else on number 6? All right, number 7, county judge report, we'll skip that one for right now. That's some thoughts here in a second. Number 8, all right, number 8, discuss and take action to fund the following items related to the installation of the two health clinic in Stevens, Texas. All right, for those of you that was on the board and in the room, maybe where we've been pushing hard to, one of the goals, as Paul said, that we had is to get a clinic here and have it here over the long haul. We've had clinics come in the 32 years I live down here. We come in, run out of grant money, close, open, so forth and so on. We're determined this time to open it and keep it open. So we went to the hospital district and, I don't know, squeezed them a little bit, and thank goodness the hospital district has agreed to subsidize the clinic for a period of 3 years with a couple of year renewals options, depending on how it goes. The idea was to give the clinic enough breathing room. If you go back a step, no one in the right mind would come in here and put a clinic. It just wouldn't ever make money initially, and so you either have to have a capital to sustain it or some sort of a subsidy to get it going. The hope is that over the next 3 to 5 years, the clinic will be being open 5 days a week, every day, Monday through Friday. With some probably more limited hours, some are basically open 5 days a week. We'll have a fighting chance now with the hospital district to survive and at least sustain itself down the road. My theory is that we got 600,000 visitors to the national park, and they all have belly aches and sprained ankles and dehydration, scratches and bumps. I see medics in the audience shaking their head because they've been out there dealing with it. So I'm hoping that, and most people who come to the park have insurance, Medicare, and so hopefully that will drift over here and help subsidize our clinic, sort of like we allow our tourists to help pay for our EMS and sales tax. So I'm real optimistic that over the next 3 to 5 years, this thing will be here long after I'm gone and all of us here are gone. We can still see it operating. So I'm pretty excited about that. And we'll thank the hospital district for all stepping up. There's a lot of discussion and so forth. So number 8 today deals with our side of the equation. And just to bring the report up to date, we've got an RFP out. The RFP closes at the end of next week. But we've got an RFP out for a clinic building of 500 square feet in nature for $150,000, up to $150,000 is what we're asking for approval today. To buy that building. And it would come in skid mounted, basically the multiple truck plugged into the wall, so to speak. And then we would, our proposal today is to fund the cost of that building. It would be a county building. We would rent it to the clinic for a nominal amount of rent basis. Something really small, and then maybe grow over time. And we would come in and redo the infrastructure. One of the things happened is the septic tank for this building has failed, so we're going to redo. I propose that we redo the septic tank pretty quickly, get that up and running, make this building viable again, and then tie into the clinic. And we've got all the utilities there for electricity. So the proposal today before the court is $150,000 funding for the purchase of the building, the clinic. And by the way, just to give everybody the shock value, it is a sort of it's basically a metal building, but it's got sort of this high top facade on it. It's going to stand out. It's going to be red. All right, just FYI, it's going. When you drive by, you're going to see it from the road. All you got to tell people is go to the red building and find it. So anyway, I'm proposing $150,000 in funding for the purchase of the building and additional $50,000 in salt costs. We'll do a lot of the work ourselves. I think we can, all that dirt that we need to do to build a septic tank. But up to $50,000 for salt costs. I don't think we'll spend all of that just for electric water.
My question is this, When we talked about it before, we talked about taking the funding out of the LATCF,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
that's still the plan.
Yes,
At some point, I would like to see, like you've done for the other projects, I'd like to see a breakdown of what we've already committed to spend out of that fund, so we know what's left.
right. Yeah, and so far, we have bought, and I'll get you the detail, we've funded the schools with the right off the top, and then we bought the new loader, and then now this building, after we spend this proposed 200,000, we'll have still about 1.8 million left. But we'll get it account.
Make a motion to go forward with the purchase of this given that affordable building.
I say,
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Yeah, when we get done, I think I've shown you guys, that we'll walk out here. It looks like we've got a really good site right here at the end of the building. We can tile the utilities in really nicely. For that, we were looking at the launch for the helicopter pad, but that was going to be complicated. Plus we would be giving up our helicopter pad, so we'll do this. Motion and second, no further discussion, all in favor, say aye. Please.
I move to approve, item 8B, funding of up to $50,000 for the installation of septic water for the internet.
Second.
All right, motion and second, any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you very much. Done. Thank you all.
Your next week. Bring your shovel.
All you got a shovel?
Yeah.
All right, number 9, discuss and take action regarding a letter of engagement with the single department in the amount of $9,000 for the fiscal year. All right, so, update on the audit. We had to make another phone call to GRP, but they are finally fully engaged and finishing the 21 audit, which should be done like next week. No, I'm not asking for one that give us a report, we're gonna throw it on the shelf and keep on moving. So as soon as 21's done, 22 will be done, because the 22 is waiting for 21's final numbers. Also, then, so I'm thinking by early March, mid-March, we should be wrapped up, late March, let's say. And then we're on to 23, with 23 being finished, I'm hoping by summer, which gets us completely current on all our audits. But we still have to do 24, but we're okay with that. Gets us in compliance with the CBG grant we got coming up, gets us in compliance with the wildland grant coming up, as well as the sheriff's grant, so sharing out all. So this is in the budget, we just need to approve the engagement letter.
Is that what we're gonna be for all audits, or, I mean, by Linda and them giving them most of the stuff, shouldn't that stuff go, price go down?
I would agree. And I have not negotiated the town or vice president until we get through 23, and we start get to 24, and then I'm going to sort of expect, I'm going to ask for it. They should have everything they need.
There's still some ABS things that they're coming on board that they're gonna have to look at, some, reporting standards, that's gonna require some new information. But what they're having to do, especially for like 22 and 23, is they've got to do a lot of setup as the new auditor, so, I'm hoping he's right that, you know, we can get that done.
Remember, we have to do a single audit for all the grants, over $750,000. And the accounting industry is not making it easier on some of the academy. Having said that, we're actually.
Well, I mean, them being there now, I know it's been easier on the change, so I move to approve our internet letter of engagement with students and department. The amount of $9,000 for the 23 fiscal year audit.
I'll second. All right, motion is second. Any other discussion? One thing that Singham did that I was very impressed with, they actually came in and sat down like they always used to do. 2 weeks ago. Zoom and all that, they just came in and knocked it out. All right, motion and second, any further discussion, all in favor, say aye. Number 10, discuss and take quality actions regarding the 25-26 Texas Community Block Grant. There are two action items. The A action item is a proposed agreement for public management. This is the administrative company that's doing the work for us. There's no cost to us. They get paid out of the CBG grant. So we have no CBG doesn't come through, which I'm about 90% sure we'll get that grant this year. Their fees will be paid out of that. This is just their agreement to provide administrators. So that grant, by the way, is for $750,000 and benefit the American Water Company and the student.
I move to approve the proposed agreement from Public Management Incorporated.
Second. Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Item B, 10B is the action to accept the scoring committee's recommendation. So now we're going in, because of the CBG, we're going to engineering. And we had to select, there were two bids, one company called WTC, the other one called Jacob Martin. Jacob Martin has pretty good experience down in this neck of the woods. They've been the engineer for the water company here for years. But they both put in a request for proposals, and the scoring committee, which was Julie, myself, and Patty Roach, it came in with Jacob Martin being the winning bidder. Again, those fees are being paid out of the CBG grant. And I called references on both companies, both WTC and Jacob Martin. I called 6 different counties or municipalities that had used them. All came back with good references. I think we could have been good with either one of those engineering firms, but based on the score, the recommendation by the committee was Jacob Martin. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second to accept Jacob Martin as the engineering for the CBG grant. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Where are they?
Jacob Martin's out of,
Battle runs.
yeah, they're over there. I think they're, should know better.
Battle runs here.
You know, all right, number 11, discuss and take action to accept a $4,000 donation from the Children Appreciation Society International Football. You know, the statute does require us to have a financial court approval to accept money. I always thought that was funny. Approval to accept. So, all right, motion and second to accept $4,000 from Cassie. Sorry. Motion and second. Everybody second. All right, Maryland second. Somebody wants to reject. All right, there's no further discussion. All in favor, say aye. All right, number 12, discuss and take action regarding the blanket bond for Brewster County. So in the past, sheriff's deputies they've been having individual bonds, and each sheriff's deputy's bond is $50 to bond them for the work that they do. But the law allows us to do a blanket bond, and it actually saves us about $500 a year, and saves the accounting department from 35 different $50 invoices. So for I think the annual premium was like $1,700. We're paying about $2,400 or $2,500 a year for individual $50 bonds. This will allow the sheriff to add and subtract deputies as he goes without having to do each one of them. So it's just an administrative thing. Saves the county a little money. So
Second.
motion and a second to accept blanket bonds from Brewster County Sheriff's Office. If there's no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. All right, road and bridge.
Boy went to Illegal Ranch Road and used triple pallets of that material and a truckload on that creek there. Fix it up, and also did Rex Ivy to the spring. And I think they're here today to finish up. 2 trucks passing for repairs, a dump truck and a haul truck. And they went in and did haul some base to, Rim Road and Trail Road, and Wagon Road, off of Wagon Road, and road that bladed at the end. They went after another load of cold mix at Apple Agri and Holman. And then they patched Fort Davis and Tom Lackey. They used, 1.5 pallets of that bag material to do it. Let's see, they put up some signs off of Wagon Road that were down and missing. And then he says that he got his computer set up, but it hadn't, he got it set up, but it hasn't been hooked up. Okay. And they did some maintenance on preventative maintenance on oil changes and stuff on pickups. Part of the.
Kathy, how's the 20 Works Road?
It's much better, thank you very much. I didn't know it was appropriate to speak, but I traveled.
Only if you're at.
I traveled 5 days a week, and it was dodge the potholes for a long time. And now I can not dodge the potholes, and I am very grateful. Thank you.
We're gonna try to seal coat it from one end to the other and just try to save that road. It needs to probably back.
Thank you.
When it warms up. Bill, we're in Ghost Town today, doing the Ghost Town Road potholes. Get you through spring break. Appreciate it, you sure do. Having tourists drop off. Okay, any further? No, sir. All right, number 14, Emergency Management Department. Just want to read the burn ban.
We had a fire recently, a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. It was 11 degrees outside, wind chill 1, and the fire was still taking off like it was. So it was dry, the weather's not improving. Even though we got 2 drops of rain yesterday, didn't help our 10 years of drought. So just want to reiterate, the good thing for City, you guys have a lot of fire breaks. Wish we had that more on board. Let's keep that burn ban on, unfortunately, so it's some kind of issue.
And if somebody wants to burn something, they should contact you.
Contact me. I know, Vega is the constable. So, Brian is pretty studious on calling.
In order to burn, you need hoses, 2 men, 2 people manning on those.
Not too many, you use a source of water to put out and plenty enough area around you to have a fire burning. And the flames can't be any higher than 4 feet.
I mean, people can call James and ask for a waiver. There's just some confidence, just ask some welding has something.
Well, do the firefighters get bored? They can come over and watch you burn stuff.
We actually have,
Or a small donation.
we have a couple of scrappers coming up that is being monitored by Texas Wildlife. If everything else, and they're put a burn ban together, put our burn plan together for us, that way we can make sure the area is good to go. We have the proper procedures and ways to raise it. And this stuff's more or less mitigation. There's a lot of stuff out there that's super duper dry. A lot of the stuff in Alpine is up on the hill, so we don't want that stuff to come. So getting that fire mitigation is what we're talking about right there.
Yeah, James and I have been working on this. I don't know if you guys approved this to pursue that wildland grant, and it's up to $10 million. Apparently, our county is top of the list in terms of being eligible for this thing. I don't know what happens with the grant situation, but it seems to be moving forward on the USDA side. We ought to know by fall it's a $10 million grant that we'll do. But it's strictly for wildfire mitigation. So our crews, trucks, skid steer, buy all that, plus our personnel to do the work as long as we're doing mitigation. We can't use it for fire suppression. But if there was a fire, that team could go ahead of the fire and cut line, and that would be within the boundaries of the grant. So we'll
I was
see.
gonna say fire mitigation means like fire breaks, right?
Yeah, it's clearing brush away from, the priority is clearing brush away from any public facilities, including schools, hospitals,
Roadside park.
roadside parks, yes. And then it works its way down into county roads, and then there's no money, obviously, can't go people's private land, but unless that private land somehow butts up against a roadside park, there might be some clearing that could be done within that to prevent somebody in the roadside park from setting that person's land on fire, which has happened. So, anyway, we'll see how that grant plays out. We're kind of surprised.
Last week, there were a large number of firefighting equipment from various agencies. Were they just roving firefighters or?
No, they were dispatched by Greg Abbott. From out here, they brought us to Texas. So they sent them down here for a week. They came down and, hung out. Well, fortunately, nothing happened. And, they were up to Big Spring, Big Spring.
You know, James done a great job. They come to town and, they don't auto launch. They come to the fire, we find them. So they're not just roaming around.
Vigilante.
Vigilantes in the fire. In fact, you had a fire at, electrical transformer. They were available, they didn't need to come to the fire out. So that worked out really well. So I kind of like them. It's great to have in case we need them. Certainly in that downtown fire, you know, they were there for that. And they also spend a lot of money staying in hotels and eating in restaurants. So we like that from the economy standpoint. They're gone now. They shot off somewhere.
Big Spring.
All right, anything else, James?
No.
All right, nothing from the treasurer's office, I don't think this morning. So we'll go to the comptroller, number 16.
Okay, you have a number of bills that are being presented for payment. If we look at, what was paid last week, we have a total paid, the fourth was $28,548.80. And those, had coming out of the general fund was $23,847.38. With about $4,701.42 coming out of other funds, predominantly out of restricted funds and some road and bridge items. For this week, the bills that we have requesting payment are going to be $160,804.12 coming out of the general fund. That's what we're $136,201.51 coming out of other funds. Approximately $67,000 of that amount is coming out of the Operation Lone Star Fund. Grand total on those is $297,005 and 63 cents. So if you have any questions on any of those.
We call Will County Country Ford, that's not an art thing.
That's the truck that they decided to, it was originally coming out of Bandon, we did the budget adjustment last time.
Oh, that's right. Look at that. I see the sheriff wants $20 for the tires. Really?
He's got to go through.
That's a third of the tires. $20.
I'm looking for tires, pay bills as presented and abstain.
I second the motion.
Okay, motion, to approve the bills as presented and seconded, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, Melinda.
Next item up is going to be a line item transfer. This is where we moved, 5,000 from utilities in the courthouse, fund to equipment, and this is for the purchase of chairs. I'll let the judge just discuss the chair purchase.
$20 for a chair. Yeah. Now, so you guys know, we moved the jury room. So the district judge is now in the old jury room. The jury room is now the old district judge's office, which is great. It puts the jury right there with the restrooms, ties everything in the court. We've got some nice tables, or decent tables in there for them, but the chairs were, so we ordered some new chairs for them. all of us, we need to make our church comfortable, at least reasonably comfortable. I don't know about you, but I would want to sit in a jury trial on one of these chairs.
Move to approve 900 and just.
Second. Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and the last item that I have, for action is gonna be a budget adjustment. And this is to take 20,000 out of the prior year, surplus fund balance and put it into, again, courthouse equipment greater than $5,000, and this was already made, and we're asking approval after the fact for an emergency situation involving the sewer line on the courthouse that collapsed and needs repair.
Second.
Sewer line is, you guys already heard, it's cast iron. It's over 100 something years old, surprisingly. They set a camera up the pipe, you couldn't see the pipe, just see the hole. So we kind of need to replace it. Hopefully.
Was that a bid?
It was under,
20,000.
it was 20,000, almost.
That's their.
That was it. Actually,
The quote, excuse me, the quote was actually 18. We went ahead and did a budget adjustment for even 20, so there was a little bit of buffer that was needed in there.
they're gonna have to do from basically my office all the way out past the sheriff's building, all the way to the street of town. Also, and the tap apparently, we're gonna have to work with the city to tap the shop. So the city's gonna have to fix the tap.
And am I correct, it's also put in the sheriff's office,
Yes,
so it includes both of those.
yeah, it picks up the sheriff's building, it's the street. There's a little construction. Although they think they can get it better. They replace it. He said. All right, motion we approve the budget line item adjustment for the sewer repair. Oh, you did, I'm sorry. Oh, has already got a second or second? Okay, fine. Yes, I was. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, C1.
Okay, the last thing I have, and I think y'all should have a copy of this. Yeah. So one of the things that we have been doing recently is trying to get the invoices paid on a little bit more frequent basis. So instead of paying them every 2 weeks or at least, just with commissioners 4 weeks, we have moved that to paying invoices every Tuesday. We chose Tuesday because that is sort of the day that they didn't get paid anymore. So we're sticking with that, but one of the things that we needed to do to keep Monty from absolutely losing her mind is to put some requirements on what do we pay each Tuesday. And one of the big ones is that she needs to be able to get that documentation and request in early enough that she has time to get it into the system, make sure she has all the appropriate documentation, get it reviewed, and get it actually, the checks cut and paid on the following Tuesday. So in order to accomplish that, we have asked for a couple of things. First off, is that any invoice that's going to be paid on a Tuesday, the payment request needs to be in by 5 p.m. the previous Wednesday. And in terms of what do we need in order to pay that you should already have gotten, anybody who's bringing in invoice with payment should have already gotten the purchase order before they ordered the item. That would have checked it against the budget, made sure that it's coming out of the proper line item, you need to do a line item transfer, all of the background stuff should be accomplished. So when the invoice comes in, then we need a signature and a date of the department head or their authorized purchasing agent on that invoice. And that will indicate that the goods have been received in good order, or that if it was for services, that the appropriate services were provided and all is well. And that the invoice amount is correct, and the invoice should have a purchase order number on it. So they should, like I said, they should have gotten a purchase order previously. And then to get a purchase order, they need to have the appropriate documentation. I'm not going to sit here, y'all have a copy of this, and I'm not going to sit here and read the whole thing, but bottom line, if it is the 50,000 limit, it's going to have to go for a competitive bid. If it's under 50 and not associated with a federal grant, then that is something that the department head could pay for. So, Ronnie, for example, if you wanted to order something $40,000 out of your, abandoned fund, then you could do that without having to wait around and take it to commissioner's court. It would still need to have the proper procurement, go through by board or that sort of thing. The $10,000 amount where previously it was in place where those had to wait and be paid only after commissioner's court, that will go away except for federal grant requirements, because federal grants under the uniform guidance require the competitive bid or a by-board purchase over $10,000. So we need to make sure that is appropriately in place. But otherwise, hopefully this is going to kind of simplify things over time. The other thing that this is going to kind of tie into is that hopefully by summertime, we are into the new accounting system that has a purchasing model, where if somebody wants to put in a request for a PO, they can do it on their phone. It goes into the software, and so the information that is contained in this policy kind of tends to carry over into the new accounting system, new purchasing software.
So we'll still get, for everything will just get paid, if it's within the budget, it's under 50,000.
And has all the
The
documentation.
documentation's in order by Wednesday, it'll get paid.
Correct.
We'll still get a report here, Shane, here's what we paid.
Say here's what we pay.
So we get to still see the flow, but.
Correct. And the other thing that this is going to impact, that I think the employees are going to need to be made aware of, is, let's say that somebody signs up to go train. Let's say that I sign up and I'm going to go to a Texas State Board conference or something. Then if I'm going to need to get a travel advance for my per diem, mileage, that sort of thing, I need to make sure I do that in time that the check can be cut on a Tuesday before I leave. The reason we're putting that requirement in there is because what's happening is Bucky is sitting there, thinks everything is fine and good on Monday. I've reviewed everything, we're good to go, we've got it ready to be paid on Tuesday. And somebody comes blowing into the office at noon on Monday and says, I'm leaving town tomorrow, I'm going to a conference and need a travel advance. And it really messes up her workflow. And so we need to make sure that employees are made aware that they need to sort of address that in advance. And most of the time, you're going to sign up for a conference well in advance. So you should be able to.
There's exceptions to every rule.
There's always exceptions that, emergency stuff.
Failure to say on your part does not constitute emergency on my part.
I like that, yes, you're correct. But there will still possibly be emergencies.
When it says the 10,000 limit for federal grant funds, does that apply to things like pills?
It could, I would need to double check on the bill. I was thinking more in terms of the individual grants that we
Yeah, well, we've had a discussion some years back when we started doing the single audit. And the argument was, it's not a grant, it's payment in lieu of taxes, it goes into the rest of the tax law.
It goes into the general fund, so that's.
That didn't work for the audit, didn't convince them.
We'll check with Shane.
I'll have to look into that and see.
Alright, so I'll make a motion, we'll make a motion to accept the changes in bill and invoice payment procedures and process. process as described on. Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Good, thank you all. All right.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I need to see about, do y'all give some extra credit cards or give credit cards for Janice Saucedo? The other day, he went to try to get some credit cards to go to El Paso, and they were already out,
Okay,
and he paid for fuel out of his pocket. I mean, I think he's going and taking stuff, I think he ought to have his.
okay.
We used to have, Frenchie used to have his own card, so.
Yeah, the credit cards are something we've actually been looking into, because one of the things we've been having great difficulty with is making sure that when people use those credit cards, that we actually get any kind of receipts or anything back. So, I think.
Just tell him that.
yeah,
He's got to do it.
Yeah.
He got to do it. I mean, he's pretty
And
good
so-
with the paperwork, so.
yeah, and one of the things that we've looked at doing with those Ruben, is, and it has not been put in place yet, is that, especially when somebody is issued an individual credit card like that, that's specific to them, not one that somebody is gonna check out, and, you know, for one day for a travel card or something. That somebody, and well, actually even those, that if they sign out the credit card, or they have a personal card issued, that they actually sign a statement saying they acknowledge that they are responsible for bringing those receipts back. Because we have to have the documentation for all.
Can we see about getting him one?
I
So
will,
that,
I will email copies.
so that he has, you know, you having them sometimes they leave early in the morning and, or whatever.
Yeah, no, I understand. I will email Patty and see, how quickly we can do something about that.
All right, number 17. You have nothing else, right?
No, sir, I think I am.
17, Brewster County Tourism. I think Robert's here today, but he does have 17B. It's review, discuss, and take action to approve the All About Birds advertising contract. And, this is some promotional work that needs approval because it's a contract.
So two contracts, yes. So,
All right, motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Favor say aye. And then the other thing on tourism, let me bring the court up today. So one of the things that the business community in South County is concerned, well, all of Brewster County, but primarily Marathon and South County, is what impact the closing or the renovation of the Jesus Lodge is going to have on visitation. We know that visitation is going to drop, visitation will drop because of the closing of the Jesus Basin for up to 2 years. That's going to probably, we estimate, drop tax revenues from the hotel side by around $400,000. Because they were a big contributor to the hotel tax. Concern, I think all of us have, tourism is a huge part of what we do in this county. And we want to continue that, is that people will say, well, the Jesus is closed, ergo, the park must be closed. Or the Jesus is closed and I'll wait 2 years until it opens up and then I'll come. So what we want to do is do some heavy promotional work, specifically targeting the message that says, hey, we're renovating. I think that's great today, Bill, that you said it's not, we're renovating. And but while we're renovating, there is tons to do in Big Bend. And Big Bend doesn't start in the National Park Boundary. There's a lot of people think it's everywhere. So if you guys recall, we set aside $500,000 last year, late last year, specifically for what we would call a rainy day fund, to help us with these sorts of situations. And so I have asked Bill, as the head of the tourism committee, to help us in these agreement that get a group of citizens together to figure out sort of a targeted promotional strategy for this message that we need to get across for the next, certainly initially, and then maybe for the next 18 months to make sure that the message is common, no matter where they go, who they call, everybody has same playbook in front of them about what's going on with Jesus. And yes, we'll have updates. The park will provide updates about what's going on. And I think the park thinks that once they move all the debris off of the mountain, they're going to completely close it until they get all the old lodge off the mountain. There's a chance that once they go into a straight up building, that they'll let the people back up into Jesus. So it may not be a full 2 years, but we don't know. We don't know if it's going to be 2 years or 4 years, really. Building something in the Jesus is pretty challenging. So just FYI, we've approved the money, but I just want to let the board know that we're working on some numbers to really specifically target the message about what's happening.
And to put that $400,000 reduction into context, I believe this past year they hit 2 million in tax revenue.
Correct.
So that's about a quarter reduction.
That's correct. And remember, we're dependent on that money as we move into visitor centers. In Marathon and Toledo, because that's the source of, that's our cash flow to pay back the debt that we're going to ultimately incur. By the way, we update on the visitor center. We have whacked it, cut, and hacked. We'll have that workshop soon. We won't have a $5 million. So I don't think everybody would like the sticker shop on that. So I think we've got some solutions. We'll have a workshop. Billy, you got anything quickly to add one way or the other? Your committee's working on.
Not really. Robert's not here because he's at a conference. So he's doing his job. And we discussed along the way, while he's there from now on, for every conference or travel show or whatever, he's going to hit up every radio station, TV station that he can and do personal interviews and programs actually to discuss this, just like you said, get the word out. Now, we did decide to do the big push after it closes, because right now it's like, well, come on down. The basins going to close, so come and hurry up. Then we got the spring break. We're already full.
Right.
So there'll be a big push. And a lot of that money that you just approved is going in towards some TV spots. So there'll be a big push to let folks know that it's not closed. It's just, like you say, it's under renovation.
Under renovation.
That's right.
That's the line.
So yeah, we're already getting the word out, and there'll be a huge push when it does close. Right now, there's nowhere to stay in March if they come back.
Well, I challenge everybody in the room, because everybody in the room lives down here. For the most part, Maddox, you're going to run into visitors, make sure you guys have the message. People are going to ask you guys. You may be treating a patient, they can ask you, what's going on with the Jesus? We want y'all to know. We want everybody that touches tourism, and that's everybody. The sheriff.
I had an interesting experience last week. I got a call on the Blue Library phone. And it was a question about where to stay, what hotels are available. They couldn't figure out there was no Holiday Inn Express. And it was like, you gotta go to visitbigbeds.com and you have all the options there. Yeah, everybody gets calls about tourism. You can't live down here without getting a question from a tourist.
I had somebody in my office the other day that was, I don't think they realized what they were saying, but they basically said, yeah, I understand the park is closing. Whoa, stop. It's not closing. We're still going to be open. We do definitely want you to come down here. So,
Tell you what, doesn't do that. So,
does it?
It's more than just the basin.
And I think we've got some targeting things. A bill that we're talking about. We had a citizens group meeting last week, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And Billy is kind of spearheading that project, and I think we're going to have some specific targeting kinds of things that address that message. So I think we get it done. I'm excited about making sure the message gets out. That's all I have in tourism. Do you have anything else? We have no need for a closed meeting today. And the next meeting is scheduled at February 25th in Alpine, Texas at 9:30 at the courthouse.
Do you have an idea of when you might wanna come back down south for a meeting, just since we've got everybody who showed up now?
We scheduled it intentionally in 4 months. Yeah, that's Alpine night.
So we'll be back on.
So I think the next one's in September, but do you remember?
I do.
specifically? I think it's in September, late September, is our next year. We're doing America in May-ish, something like that. So we got 2 in Maryland, 2 in Toledo this year.
So look out for that announcement.
Look out for that. All right, if there's no other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This court is now adjourned.